Previously on Visionaire, as our four friends aboard the Lady Jane searched for the fastest route to their mysterious destination, Prime Minister Kleo continued her interrogation of Mathius back at the capital. Mathius admitted to his unceremonious departure years before with Erion's mother, as the passengers of the Lady Jane discovered that Milo had secrets of her own that could cost them their entire mission. Just as the Lady Jane found themselves surrounded by a fleet from the capital, the mysterious voice beckoned them onward and transported the Lady Jane straight to its final destination. And now, the conclusion. Blaze, Milo, and Trinity stand near the cabin's windows, each going from various stages of transfixed by the glowing green planet before them to bewildered panic at the feet before them.
I think Erion and I should go. She won't be able to explain exactly what we need. And what if she misunderstood what they said in the first place? I mean, you gotta admit, she's not the sharpest.
Will you stop it? The last thing we need is someone as skeptical as you going. You made fun of her visions in the first place.
Well, no way in hell you're going.
What? Why not?
We have no idea what's down there, what the oxygen levels are like, what these people are like.
I'd be with Erion, and they like her enough to call out to her, right?
I don't think she should go either. I mean, look at her.
The group turns to see Erion sleeping soundly on the sofa, her face pale in the dim light of the room. Trinity's expression is grim, but resolute.
No, Erion needs to be there.
I agree. I wish it weren't so, but we also haven't considered if they speak our language.
They have to, right? I mean, it's not like Cult Kids has been speaking in tongues, right? Look, there's no way in hell the Lady Jane can make a smooth landing on that belt. And there's only room for 2 on that shuttle. If anyone should go down there, it's the nerd and I.
Gee, thanks.
Absolutely not. You almost got us killed back there.
That wasn't my fault!
Now we're just supposed to think that you're all changed and on our side.
I have always been on your side.
Hey! Erion?
Trinity and Milo stop mid-sentence to see Blaze running away from the window. Erion, still sleeping on the sofa, radiates a soft, warm light and lifts slowly from her place of rest. As the three approach, they are frozen in their tracks to see her fade, the light dimming, until suddenly she vanishes.
Erion? Erion?
A moment later. Slowly, a few hundred miles away on the mysterious planet, Erion awakens to a blinding green light surrounding her vision. Shielding her eyes, she gets unsteadily to her feet. She realizes that everything surrounding her emits the same shining light.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone here?
As her eyes adjust, Erion moves her hand away to see a tall, luminous figure before her. The figure's eyes glow a soft blue, and the skin surrounding it is a pure soft pink. Erion gasps.
You? It can't be. Mother?
Meanwhile, back at the capital, Mathius has been released from his interrogation to a small cell. Prime Minister Kleo leaves him in the keep of 2 soldiers as she makes her way to the communications center nearby and presses her palm on the counter. A small monitor appears before her and turns on.
Lieutenant Holden, this is Prime Minister Kleo. I want a report.
Prime Minister, unfortunately, we are still searching.
I expected better than this, Lieutenant. They are a pack of children. They can't have gone far.
I have scattered the fleet, Prime Minister. I apologize for the delay, but we will locate them.
For your sake, Lieutenant, I would hope so.
Prime Minister Kleo swipes the screen blank as a soft laugh is heard from Mathias's cell. The Prime Minister snaps her heels and turns, trying to mask her anger with a cold stare.
Is there something humorous to you here, Mr. Patterson? I surely can't imagine in your state I would find this to be such great news.
Oh, my apologies, Your Majesty. I suppose once you climb so high up the ladder, you have a harder time squishing the ants below.
You know the power that resides here. They will be found, and they will face the consequences of their actions.
Mathius jumps to his feet and meets the Prime Minister where she stands, a thick glass separating the two. There is a familiar fire in his eye.
You will fail, and I will savor every moment of it.
You are the failure, Mathius, not I. I'll make sure to walk your daughter by on the way to Lab 15.
Prime Minister Kleo throws him a cold smirk, turning away and walking out of sight. Once she has left, Mathius falls to his knees and weeps.
Alexandria, forgive me.
An hour later, back on the Lady Jane, Trinity and Blaze stand behind Milo as she sits in the captain's chair, consulting her tablet as she flips switches and taps the screen. Trinity's face is stained with tears, but she holds her composure for the moment. Blaze looks like he wants to touch everything, but settles for holding his hands firmly under his armpits.
She's still not showing up anywhere. I can't get a heat scan, CO2 spike, motion detection. Honestly, with these levels, I can't.
What? You can't what?
Blaze, take a look at this.
Milo shoves the tablet back towards Blaze, who hungrily grabs it and starts flipping through the screens before him. His face falls.
It's inhospitable. The atmosphere, it's composed almost entirely of chlorine and hydrogen. At these levels, if that's where she went.
Stop it. No. What are you saying? If she's down there, she's dead?
Trin.
They wouldn't do that. She has to be alive. Why would the boys go through all of this? Tell her how to find them. Even freaking transport us to their doorstep, only to kill her now. There has to be something.
Trinity runs out of the room, frantic. Milo and Blaze look to each other before following after her. They find Trinity kneeling beside Erion's bag, digging in and pulling everything out that she can find.
Trin, look. I know she was... You two were close, but, I mean, what if she just didn't understand?
Don't give me that crap, Milo. You might believe that, but I know her. She's no idiot. She's just...
Trinity's breath catches as she pulls a second black orb from Erion's bag. She turns to Milo and Blaze, her face full of hope. Blaze looks stunned.
She stole another one?
The voice made her take the other one. It must have told her to take this one too. Blaze, will you...
With a grim expression, Blaze looks to the orb and then Trinity before gently taking it from her hands. He turns and leads them to the center of the room and places the orb gingerly on the floor before squeezing the sides, causing it to burst to life. A light illuminates upward, showing a series of holographic letters.
Laboratory 15?
Do you know of it?
No, I've never heard of it. You?
We worked on a lab 7 to 10.
Make a move. How do you make it move?
Calm down! Here.
Blaze takes a step towards the letters and swipes 2 fingers sharply to the side, and the letters vanish, replaced by a shocking image. 5 tall, lanky figures standing side by side, their skin a light and brilliant pink, eyes glowing a soft blue. 3 of the figures have long white hair falling well past their shoulders, while the other 2 wear fine cloth headdresses that seem to wrap from their shoulders to the rest of their bodies. Milo takes a step back as Trinity moves closer. Blaze is aghast.
What are they?
It says they arrived on Vita Nova almost 30 years ago. They didn't speak, it says they tried to go straight to the capital.
What happened? Why did they come to Vita Nova?
I don't know.
Blaze swipes again, the image changing to one of the long-haired figures strapped to a table, monitors and technicians surrounding it with tubes and needles.
I don't like this.
What? What?
A bunch of this data looks like it was tampered with. Dates redacted, results. Whomever led this wasn't exactly going by the books.
Blaze swipes once more across the image, Trinity letting out a squeal at what follows. Before them shines the image of one of the figures, shaven and half asleep, with an unmasked figure standing over it.
Can't be. Mathius?
Holy shit.
He was working for them. We know he was working for them. Didn't you say that, Milo? Milo?
Trinity and Blaze turn to see Milo leaning against the sofa, her eyes wide, a look of horror and disgust on her face.
I knew there was something off about him, about that place, that cult, and especially about that kid. This is what they were looking for. Don't you see? Don't you see what he did?
Milo.
Don't you realize who she is?
Milo, calm down.
No wonder that voice talked to her. It's because it's her kind. She's not special. She's not gifted. She's an alien.
Stop it. She is not.
How do you explain it away then? She hears this voice. It tells her exactly what to do, where to go. I bet it even told her to talk to you so it could lead her to me. These things don't want to help save Vita Nova at all. They wanted their damn kin back.
At the same time, while Trinity and Blaze exchange uneasy glances, Erion follows the mysterious figure into a grand gleaming building. They walk down long, winding hallways, the figure maintaining a stoic silence.
You can't be my mother. She didn't come here with us. She was back home keeping watch over the temple. But you look just like her. How's that possible? Did you come here from Vita Nova, or did she go to Vita Nova? Why would she leave? How'd she get there? Is there a reason she'd do that?
The figure stops just outside a large golden doorway, gesturing for Erion to enter. Unsure, Erion takes several tentative steps forward and peers inside. She sees a large open room with a single chair placed before a gigantic window. The veil is split between the numerous stars in the sky above and the soft glowing green of the rocks surrounding. Erion walks towards the chair and feels a strange pulse through the air. She turns and sees the door behind her has closed. She continues forward until she reaches the chair, where another figure sits, its eyes blue, but not glowing like the others. Erion walks before it and waves.
Hello? My name's Erion. I'm from Vita Nova. Are you the one who's been talking to me?
The figure's face turns toward Erion, its eyes illuminating brightly. She takes a step backwards, but the figure stands up quickly and reaches a hand out to stop her, taking her shoulder in a firm grip.
Whoa. You're a lot stronger than you look.
The figure raises its other hand to slowly lift Erion's chin upwards until they're looking eye to eye. After a moment, Erion's eyelids droop, and she falls into a trance as the figure lets go of her shoulder and places a hand on top of her head. Erion's eyes snap open, the blue glow returning. After a moment, tears begin streaming from her eyes.
No!
At the same time, in the capital, in the corner of his small cell, Mathius drifts in and out of sleep. The two guards standing on either side of his cell stand immobile, staring at the wall opposite them. Suddenly, the guards slump against the glass, collapsing on top of each other in a heap. Mathius springs to his feet in surprise, only to find himself frozen in place. A blue glow fades into his eyes, and before him he sees a familiar face.
Erion, could that really be you?
Hello, Mathius.
This isn't... Who are you?
At this time, Erion is merely hosting, but it is not she you speak. I am the kin of the one you took captive, whom you allowed your kin to torture, maim, and slaughter to satisfy their own curiosities.
I didn't... Dear brother, I swear to you, I never lay a hand on any...
Do not attempt to lie to me, human, for I may not have set foot upon your atrocious planet, but I have been there through the eyes of my own, and I have seen the horrors that your kind provoke.
I tried. I swear to the gods, I tried. As soon as I saw what they were doing, I did everything I could. Please, you do not have to forgive my race, but believe me when I tell you I did all I could.
There is a pause as the possessed Erion gives Mathius a look over. She sees truth in his heart and pain in his eyes, and her expression softens.
You named her, I heard.
Alexandria. Yes. She has...
I know. I saw. Her daughter came to us. We told her as gently as we could.
A blessing. Thank you. Can she hear us talking right now?
No. She's not present currently in the space.
They are looking for her and for the others. As long as the people here remain in command, it isn't safe for her.
There could be a way, however, only viable should you be willing to do what is necessary.
I am. I should do whatever it takes. You have my word. Only, I fear she will never see, never understand just how much I love her.
Would you like to speak with her?
I very much would, yes.
The vision of Erion before him ripples, the blue glow vanishing from Erion's eyes as she looks around in amazement.
Father? Is that you?
Erion.
Where are you?
Never mind where I am, my child. There's so much I wish to tell you, but...
I know. They showed me. Father, I'm so sorry.
No, dear one. I am the one who is sorry. I should have told you many years ago instead of forcing you into the world I created to keep us safe. It took me too long to realize that safety has only ever been an illusion. I just want you to know the only thing that ever mattered to me was you.
Mathius reaches out a hand, and the image of Erion reaches out hers to hold to his palm. They exchange a sad smile before the image ripples once more, and Erion's eyes regain their blue glow. The glass holding Mathius in his cell begins to vibrate, and then shatters.
You raised a talkative little one. Now listen closely, for we haven't much time.
Half an hour later, a loud explosion is heard echoing from the halls of the Capitol laboratories. Soldiers scramble to their weapons, shouting orders and directions as Mathius walks confidently into view, his eyes alight with purpose. He has retrieved his flowing robe and pulls out handfuls of small pebbles from the pockets, tossing them into the air towards the soldiers and sending them scattering as the rocks ignite and explode around them. He walks through the surrounding smoke, his eyes fixed on the tall set of tubes and electrical grids standing as a centerpiece. He ignores the shouts around him as he withdraws a small silver box from within his robe. Across the top is engraved, "Danger, do not open." He opens the box, withdrawing a small vial filled with a silky glowing purple substance. Prime Minister Kleo runs into the room, coming to a halt at the doorway once she sees what Mathius holds in his hand.
Think twice about what you do next, Mr. Patterson. Your admiration of their savagery borders on insanity. Do you want to kill everyone on this planet?
Mathius opens the vial, opens the hatch of the tube nearest himself, and pours its contents in. The tubes vibrate, then begin to glow. He places a hand on the grid before him, and a faint red light encapsulates the series of tubes. He then turns from the tubes and walks slowly towards Prime Minister Kleo, who takes an unsteady step backwards.
All I have ever wanted, Prime Minister, is to see Vita Nova thrive. The only person I would like to kill is you.
Prime Minister's eyes widen as Mathius reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small fusion core. Before the Prime Minister can utter another word, Mathius places the core into the palm of his hand and slams it to the floor. From the outskirts of the Capitol, a brilliant light can be seen flashing from the center of the Capitol building, followed by a deafening boom. Once the dust has settled and onlooking eyes adjust once again to the daylight, all that remains of what once held the Capitol is an intricate system of tubes and flashing electrical grids, surrounded by an ominous glowing red light. From the top half of the tubing, a faint purple haze permeates the air. Around the same time, back aboard the Lady Jane, Blaze and Trinity sit on the sofa, nervously tapping their feet and chewing their nails, while Milo sits across the room, headset on, dialing out to any number she can think of to try and make contact.
Hello? Hello? This is Corporal Nelson aboard the Lady Jane. If you can hear me, please respond. This is Corporal Nelson aboard the Lady Jane. If you can hear me, please respond. Hello.
Will you give it a rest for 10 minutes, please?
You give it a rest. Some of us don't want to float around here by some alien planet waiting to see if they kill us or not. This is Corporal Nelson aboard the...
There is an abrupt static from the other side of the line, and Milo panics with happiness. Blaze rises to listen, but stops dead in his tracks when Lieutenant Holden's voice speaks on the other end.
Mayday! I repeat, can you read me, Prime Minister? The signal has been lost. Our tracking systems are down. What is the status of the power grid on?
Milo snaps off the headset and throws it away from herself, making a dash for the cockpit and grabbing the tablet on her captain's chair. Blaze follows her, uneasy.
You okay there, Captain?
I don't understand. It's down. Everything's just, look.
She shoves the tablet into Blaze's hands as he skims the pages.
I don't understand. What am I looking at here?
Nothing, nerd. You're looking at nothing. It's like the whole system just
doesn't exist anymore.
Milo and Blaze turn to see Erion in the doorway behind them, a tearful Trinity close behind. Milo takes a step away from her.
It doesn't. Not anymore.
What do you mean it doesn't?
It's gone. The capital, the labs, the database. It's all gone.
What did they do? How can they do that?
It wasn't them. It was my father.
He knew we wouldn't be safe if we went back.
We wouldn't be safe, or she wouldn't be safe? Why should we believe you? Why are either of you listening to this thing?
Erion sighs, pulling a small vial filled with a silky, glowing purple substance inside. She walks over to Milo and holds it out to her. Uncertainly, Milo takes it.
I don't expect you to understand, Milo. You had your family, your mom. You knew exactly where you came from and who you were. You were all, well, normal. And I'm different. I'm not like you or Trinity or Blaze. I'll always be
no different to us than you were before. You are the same person who got us out of the compound, who led us all the way out here, galaxies away. And it doesn't matter if you are different. You're still one of us. Isn't that right?
Is this is it?
Erion nods. Blaze goes to Milo and peers down at the tiny vial in awe.
Amazing.
Do not start that again, please.
Milo holds up the vial, looking closely at the silky substance within, then hands it over to Blaze, who accepts it with glee. She then walks towards the doorway, stopping in front of Erion and Trinity, and gives her a long, hard look. After a moment, she puts a hand roughly on Erion's shoulder.
You done good, kid.
Milo.
That sounds like a good thing to me.
Okay, boys and girls, enough standing around staring at each other. I have no idea where in the hell we are, and we somehow need to make it back home, so let's get a move on.
Yes, ma'am.
Milo leads the others back to the lounge to look over what maps they can locate as the figures below watch the Lady Jane fade slowly from their view in the window of the great room. The figures' eyes shine brightly all at once, blue, then green, then purple, before the lights dim for what would be a long, long time. The end.